Away from Borno State now, but we stay with politics. Let's turn our attention to the National Caretaker Committee constituted by the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, and Governor Alex Otti, which has been inaugurated. The 29-man Caretaker Committee, headed by Nenadi Usman, aims to resolve issues within the party and discuss the way forward. Ademola Lawrence has details.
The National Caretaker Chairman of the party says the committee will accommodate all aggrieved members and chart a new course for the party.
As a committee, one of our first tasks must be reconciliation. We need to reach out to all aggrieved members and bring them back into the fold. At the moment, all eyes are on Edo State elections. The Labour Party is closely watching the security services and INEC. We are confident in our popularity in Edo State, and we hope for a peaceful election.
The vice presidential candidate of the party says Labour Party is a force to reckon with come 2027.
What we did in 2023 can easily be repeated, even more. This caretaker committee is a building block to our success. You, honorable members, are key elements of that building block. I cannot overemphasize the importance of your being here. I cannot call too many times for you to realize how important every word you say, every action you take for this committee.
Representing the governor of Abia State, the deputy governor says Abure-led faction has ceased to be in charge of the party.
Well, I say the committee led by Barrister Julius Abure. His committee ended as far as the constitution of the Labour Party and that of the INEC. It ended in June, of 2024. And as a people who happen to own the Labour Party collectively, we have decided to not just have a Congress, but also to save Nigerians. It's not all about us.
The Labour Party is currently faced with a leadership crisis that has divided the party into three factional groups. Ademola Lawrence, TVC News, Abuja.
Away from politics to security now, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, says that time is ticking against terrorists as troops are committed to ending insecurity in Zamfara and the Northwest Zone. The defense chief stated this when he paid a courtesy visit to the governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal. He also announced the killing of a bandit leader operating in western Zamfara as another success by the troops. General Christopher also mentioned that a joint military theater operation, codenamed Operation Fansa Yama Northwest, will be established to tackle the spread of insecurity in the region. And joining us now to discuss the incessant security challenges in the Northwest is a former member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Cletus Obum. Honorable Obum, thank you for joining us on the news this hour. What do you make of the impute of the military, especially their operation in the Northwest? How much impact do you think it's having there?
Well, you don't need to go far to search for the answer to that. The military, especially under the present service chiefs and theater commanders, and given the vortex and synergy as coordinated by the Minister of Defense and the Minister of State Defense and the other operatives that have synergized, the Northeast is totally under control, and especially with the last killing of one of the bandits and the other one being on the run and on the radar. I think the Northwest, like the Northeast, is going down. And the assurances from the Chief of Defense Staff, General Musa, Christopher, is also reassuring and gives us more confidence that we are going to have some peace in the Northwest, just like we are having it in the Northeast.
Comprehensive is this approach beyond kinetic efforts on the part of the military. Some have also asked that we need to answer the question of the economy and also how liberated the people are, majority of the people are in that part of the country, if we're going to sustainably defeat terrorism in that regard.
Well, in the Northwest in particular, I'm happy with the kind of coordinated activities in that area by the security. But it also will require civil authorities, especially the governors of that area, being chief security officers, to take responsibility. And that's why it is worrisome that the governor of Zamfara has been of recent pandering and engaging in some panoramic public display on TV stations talking about the politics of security in the Northwest. I think that what the military is doing under the coordination of the Minister of Defense and the Minister of State Defense, who incidentally is from Zamfara, should be commended and complimented and also supported by all those who are from that area. The military alone can do very little because it will also take the community, now coordinated by civil authorities represented by the governors as chief security officers. Incidentally, like I said, it's disappointing that the governor of Zamfara in recent days, in the last 24 hours, have been moving from station to station trying to advertise what he's doing with security and what he's not doing. And incidentally, this is the best time for him to utilize the opportunity that his predecessor is the one sitting in the defense ministry while he's commending the ministry and the military for the activities they are taking. He's busy trying on one hand to try to downgrade and impugn on the character and name of the person of the Minister of State. I think that is not the way to go. What we need now is total synergy from both the civil authorities and also the military, which is doing its best at this time, which he acknowledges, but which he must want to distract people with. He has enough funds now. At least with the removal of oil subsidy, a state like Zamfara that never got beyond 3 billion before now is getting over 7 billion in a month. And I think by the records of the National Bureau for Statistics, you can see clearly that in the first 6 months of this year, first and second quarter of this year, we had over 35 billion, 35.4 billion already in the coffers of, which should be used to support the military in spite of what he is trying to do with the state. So I imagine that there should be more of that synergy than this public display of some juvenile conduct.
Well, the governor has rights to say whatever he likes to say and also inform the public about his opinion. I am more concerned about how far away we are from having the police and other, state security being able to handle this themselves. Do you think it is sustainable to keep having the military intervene?
Clearly, once there is domestic intelligence to show that the activities of bandits and non-state actors is overwhelming the regular security, internal security architecture, it is always traditional in all countries of the world to find the military intervening, which the military is doing. Look at what they did in Maiduguri only recently with the floods in the last 72 hours. What they did in Maiduguri is commendable and is done internationally. It meets all best practices internationally. So in the Northwest, in particular, as we speak, what they are doing there, from the police to the DSS, from the National Intelligence Agency to the Army to the Air Force to the Navy, what they are doing there is sufficient coordinated action that will bring about stability and the reduction, if not the total elimination, of banditry and other acts of insurgency and insecurity in that area, which has, of course, if you remember, that state, in particular between Zamfara and Kebbi State, was where we were expecting the bulk of our rice to come from. We're almost getting self-sufficiency in rice production in those areas. Right. Because we can no longer go to farm and some people are coming in there. I think the military is doing enough, and what they are doing has shown that they can contain it. And the Chief of Defense Staff has just assured you that the days for the bandits and the insurgents are numbered, and that he's coming out, and he's done so. If you can watch, today people can travel from here, from Abuja to Kaduna freely. Since this defense team came out to be coordinated by General Musa, and I must tell you, I must say it on national television today, that General Musa and his men and his team, especially the service chiefs presently, are making the country proud, and we have reason to trust that we will believe them when they tell us that the days of insecurity in the Northwest are numbered. We want to believe it. And even the runaway Furuji is going to certainly be numbered. But like I said, it will require people like the governor of Zamfara State to please keep his mouth away from the politicization of security in that area, given that he is doing very little.
That's about the time we have for this conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on this development. Now let's turn to our continuous... Indeed, you're welcome. Let's turn to our continuous coverage of the flood in Borno State, where the First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, has visited the state government and also sympathized with the people over the flood incident that affected more than 1 million people. The First Lady donated 500 million naira to support government relief efforts. Senior reporter Jesse Tafida has details.
Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is represented here by wife of the Vice President, Nana Shettima. Her visit is to commiserate with the government and people of the state over the flood disaster. According to her, the devastating news of the flood bleeds her heart as women and children were severely affected, displacing them from their homes.
The mother of the nation saviors, you are in her prayers and thoughts. And inshallah, we are all going to rally around you to compliment the good work that you are doing to the good people of Borno State.
The First Lady presented a check of 500 million naira, courtesy of the Renewed Hope Initiative. Meanwhile, Governor of Katsina State, Dukurada, also visited the state to sympathize with the people over the incident. He also donated 100 million naira to support victims of the flood.
It is a disaster that has shaken the country, and it is something that we felt as a government and as people of Katsina State, who are brothers to the people of Borno State, to come with this powerful delegation to sympathize with you and to pray for the souls of those who departed as a result of this. We want to assure you that we are behind you.
We remain accountable to all of you for this very important visit, and may Almighty Allah in His infinite wisdom reward you abundantly. And we believe in the long run, this support will reduce poverty in the state by creating jobs.
As the day ends, Chinese companies working for the state government also brought a donation of 70 million naira to assist the government. Jesse Tafida.